the next generation of news. 23 News This Morning starts now.
Good morning and welcome to 23 News This Morning for Tuesday, May 24th. I'm Kathleen Cohen.
And I'm Andy Gannon, in for Aaron Wilson. We'll be hearing from Aaron on the road as the Vets Roll 2016 will be in Washington, D.C. today, looking at some of the memorials, World War II, Korean, Vietnam Wall. Memorials they were a very big part of today, an emotional day indeed, and Aaron will bring us some of those pictures and live reports coming up here during 23 News this morning. We have rain chances all week long. We'll outline all that for you coming up in a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you, Andy. Well, coming up this morning, testimony continues in the Drew Peterson murder for hire trial. The confession an inmate tells the courtroom Peterson made to him. But first, this morning's top story. A man is dead after he's accidentally run over by a dump truck. It happened on I-88 last night just outside of Rochelle. District 15 State Police tell us 43-year-old Robert Schwartz of Dixon was doing some work near milepost 76 when a Mack dump truck driven by a 49-year-old co-worker from Rockford backed up over Schwartz. Meantime, investigators now believe a heart attack caused a one-car crash that killed a man on Rockford's southeast side. Rockford police say a black Chevy slowly drove off the road on bypass 20 just east of 11th Street yesterday afternoon around 4. A 36-year-old man was the only person in the car. He died a little while later at an area hospital. A Rockford man is fighting for his life after officers say he was shot while walking his dog. Officers say the 43-year-old was walking near the intersection of Holland and Montague yesterday afternoon when a silver Volkswagen pulled up and fired several shots. The victim remains in critical condition. No suspects are in custody. A Caledonia man is in custody after deputies uncover a marijuana growing operation in Boone County. 54-year-old Dennis Klein faces several felony charges, including production, possession, and intent to deliver marijuana. Deputies searched a home in the 2000 block of North Boone School Road in Caledonia. They say they found about 200 cannabis plants and hundreds of grams of marijuana, along with drug paraphernalia and guns. The DeKalb police are warning us about a possible power company scam. They say they've received several complaints from people about an aggressive caller trying to get them to switch power suppliers. They say some of the calls might be legitimate, but they recommend not speaking to anyone but our power supplier about our bill. It's 5:03 and 60 degrees.
Now, weather on the threes, sponsored by Speed Pass Plus.
Nothing looks severe. Nothing looks like it's going to be widespread. So should be okay for Young at Heart Festival as well.
And temperatures still in the 80s, so you can't really complain.
It's certainly summerish, isn't it?
Feeling like summer. Thank you, Andy. Well, Janesville police say they are searching for a man who reportedly jumped off a Centerway bridge into the Rock River last night. The fire department says they haven't found anyone yet, but are continuing to search. A man was awakened by flames last night on Rockford's west side. Fire crews say the blaze broke out in the 500 block of Illinois Avenue just before midnight. They say when they arrived on the scene, the man's garage was engulfed in flames. The fire also damaged part of his home and a car parked in the driveway, but the homeowner was not hurt. The fire caused about $35,000 worth of damage. Meanwhile, Temco Grinding in Loves Park isn't letting a fire set them back. Work is already underway to restore the industrial facility that caught fire a little over a week ago. Owner Michael Mahoney says an electrical fire above the break room caused extensive damage to the building. The facility is expected to be restored within the next 6 months. In the meantime, equipment is being moved to a temporary location off Samuelson Road in Rockford.
I got the call about 9:45. When I got here, the building was pretty well lit up. Had a lot of volunteer fire departments. I want to thank them for responding to the fire. A lot of help. You have to look at it that way. We're going to bounce back, take care of our customers.
Mahoney says they expect to be back in business by June 1st at the Samuelson location. An inmate who Drew Peterson is accused of enlisting to arrange the killing of a state's attorney says the former suburban Chicago police officer also admitted to killing his missing fourth wife. The Chicago Tribune reports Antonio Smith testified that the ex-Bolingbrook sergeant referred to Stacy Peterson as a, quote, dead woman and discussed how to kill state's attorney James Glasgow. Peterson has never been charged in Stacy Peterson's disappearance and has maintained his innocence. He's currently serving a 38-year sentence in the 2004 death of ex-wife Kathleen Savio. That case was reopened after Stacy Peterson went missing back in 2007. Drew Peterson has pleaded not guilty in the current case and faces an additional 60 years in prison. And it looks like former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich won't be leaving prison anytime soon. The Supreme Court decided to reject his appeal of his corruption convictions. Blagojevich will now be resentenced June 30th after federal prosecutors in Chicago requested a new sentencing date in the corruption case against him. The Illinois Secretary of State's office says the state's plan for new, more secure driver's license and state ID cards won't cost Illinois any more money. The office says they plan to use the same amount of money saved from upgrades made to cut costs. Illinois has until January of 2018 to make the necessary upgrades to our IDs under the Real ID Act of 2005. More big changes for the TSA, and voters in Washington state head to the polls for today's GOP primary. The headlines today's 23 World Watch. Coming up on 23 News this morning, we'll have your weather on the 3s from 23 News. We'll be right back.